Well, hello YouTube. Welcome back to the Daily Life. I'm your host, Tom Johnson. Today is Friday, January the 10th, 2014. And as you can see, for those of you who aren't regular viewers to the show, first of all, you should be, put them on the top of your list. Secondly, you will notice that I am wearing a suit. Sometimes, usually on a Friday, I put a suit on. Today I have a new tie. I got this tie for Christmas. And I just want to give it a test run. So there you are. Today I'm talking about fads. I changed the topic yesterday. If you watched the show, I told you I was going to be talking about public service messages. But I saw a fad. There's a fad going on where I live right now, and I just wanted to talk about fads in general. So here I am. I'll save public service messages for Monday. Great topic. You should tune in on Monday for that show. There was something I wanted to say generally just to get started, but I've forgotten it. And if you've watched the show, what you will also find out is that this is an off-the-cuff show. It's not scripted. And if I remember it, I will say it. And if I don't remember it, I will probably remember it by Monday, and I'll tell you on Monday what I was going to say. Okay, fads. Where I live, there's a fad going on, and I just wanted to tell you about it. It's a fad with a certain type of winter jacket. Where I live, in my region of the world, it gets very, very cold at winter. Currently, the temperature outside is -9 degrees, or for our American friends, 16 degrees. Now, that's pretty cold. Now, granted, it's not as cold as it's been in some places of Canada and the United States. In a city called Winnipeg, it was colder than Mars for a little while. But it's not quite that extreme here. 16 degrees or -9 is pretty darn cold, though. And there is this type of jacket called Canada Goose jacket. And everybody seems to be wearing them. Now, I don't know why, because I have a winter jacket, I have 2 winter jackets actually, that are quite pleasurable to be in. I do not find that I need any more warmth than that. And these Canada Goose jackets are extremely expensive and everybody's wearing them. And it's just this winter. I didn't notice them last winter. It's just in the last couple of months that I have noticed them. And I deem it to be a fad. Sorry, I'm kind of... one of the things about me is that I like things to be symmetrical, especially when I'm wearing a suit. There we go. So, and you won't see as many hand motions when I'm wearing a suit because I'm trying to keep it symmetrical. Anyway, fads. Right. Canada Goose jackets. Could somebody from Canada, preferably, because I don't know, it's probably not a fad in the States because we're just weird up here. Or if you know and you're in the States, that's fine. Somebody tell me what is the fascination with Canada Goose jackets. I don't get it. It is a fad. It's kind of like what were those things called? Bell bottoms of 2014. That was a fad in the 50s. I don't know. It's just, I wanted to get that off my chest. There's other fads. Some of them are controversial, so I like driving an electric car. That's kind of a fad, but it's kind of controversial, so I don't want to talk about it as much. Bench. There's another fad. Girls have these high-backed shirts and they say bench on them. I've never heard of that brand before in my life. Don't know why it's so important. Then there are things that have staying power, like Nike. Okay, that's a staying power brand. Nike will always be popular for sporting equipment. Lululemon I used to think was a fad. It's kind of not now because people have been wearing that for a while. By the way, if you've wondered why my light has been off this week, on Monday I forgot to turn it on, and the studio lights will be back on next week. I just like to do things in weeks, and they'll be back on Monday. Just wanted to tell you about that if you've been wondering why my light's been off all week. Oh, remember that thing at the beginning of the show that I was going to tell you that I forgot? I just remembered what it was. I want to thank you. I thanked you yesterday, but I want to thank the viewer who commented, and I explained why I can't post comments right now. But here's what I want you to do. This is how I want to, because I can't advertise. I don't have the resources to advertise this show. It's a grassroots effort. It's designed to be a small audience, but I have no objections to it being a big audience that watches this show. So here's what I want you to do. If you watch this show and you like this show, Tell 10 people that you watch Daily Life starring Tom Johnson. By the way, also, that's not my real name. It's a pseudonym. My real name is not Tom. You can call me Tom because that's what I refer to myself as on this show. But that's not my real name. I just don't want to give out my real name on the internet. If I get really famous, then I'll have to change the name of this show to The Daily Life starring my real name. But for now, it's The Daily Life starring Tom Johnson. Anyway, if you like the show, tell 10 people you know. Most people know 10 people. If you don't know at least 10 people, you should move out of northern Idaho or the Yukon. Just thinking of some sparsely populated locales. Not knocking anybody who lives in northern Idaho or the Yukon, but they're just small places where people are not generally known to know a lot of people. Anyway, so tell 10 people and ask them to tell 10 people if they like it. Because then there's a snowball effect here, okay? 10 people watch the show, and then they tell another 10 people. That's 100 people if my rudimentary math skills are correct. Then if those 100 people each tell 10 people more, it's 1,000. If those 1,000 people tell 10 more, it's 10,000, then 100,000, then 1,000,000, which is more than some TV shows get. I'm not saying 1,000,000 people are ever going to watch this show. Last time I checked, I had 163 views. That's a far cry from 1,000,000, but that's how it snowballs. And if you want me to do an actual TV show on this, you want me to actually have my own show on TV, because the internet's great, but TV is where it's at, then a producer or a director or somebody in the television industry has to see this and like it. And if 1,000,000 people saw it, that'd be a lot better chance. Anyway, that's enough plug for my show, but that's just how you can help spread the popularity of this show. I love it because it's my own show, and the person and people that I created it for, there's a couple of specific people that urged me to create it, and they like it. At least one of them does. The other one, I don't know. Just kind of watches it on the side. Maybe this show will be a fad. I wouldn't be objectionable to that. By the way, another thing I should tell you is that these shows aren't always topical. Sometimes we'll introduce a topic and then go on a tangent for 5 minutes like I just did about plugging my show and how you can help grow the show. That is a necessary component of daily life because this is an unscripted show. But I'm going to go back to fads for a couple minutes. I try to start and end on the topic, and sometimes in the middle of the show I'll get off topic, but I try to start and end on the topic. Fads. This show could be a fad, and I wouldn't have any objections to having this show be a fad because it would give me 15 minutes of fame. Well, people don't get that, and but anyway, make this show a fad. Better yet, let's make this show a mainstay in North American culture. I would really like that a lot. If you think I look good in a suit, comment. It's just a sidebar. People may not be able to see your comments until I figure out how to do that, but I will, and I'll read them on the air. Like the gentleman who commented on my video yesterday. I read your comment on the air. If you'd like to leave another comment, you can. If not, you don't have to. Nobody has to leave comments, but they're welcome now in this new year here at The Daily Life with Tom Johnson, starring Tom Johnson. I always screw that up. So yes, fads. The Canada Goose fad. I don't know how long it's going to be around for. I just wanted to point out that I find it annoying because I don't own one of these jackets. I don't find them particularly attractive. And there you are. Okay, well, after talking a little bit about fads and a little bit about plugging my show, that's it for this week. I do hope you have enjoyed The Daily Life this week. We'll be back next week with first show of next week is on public service messages. So do tune in for that. Leave some comments if you will. Tell your friends about this show. And we'll be back next week for a great ride. Great times here on The Daily Life. I'm your host, Tom Johnson. Have a great weekend. Don't drink and drive. Peace out.